Assalamualaikum and good morning. Before we begin the session, I would like to get your response on the quality of the visual and audio. Please respond and let me know if there are any problems or noises can be heard. To all speakers and audience, I would like to remind you to kindly mute your microphone during our session. For your information, the opening ceremony for this conference will be streamed live via Pusat Asasi UiTM's YouTube channel, and we will also be having both the Science and Technology and Social Sciences session via the same channel. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Datuk Teknologis Dr. Hajar Rozia Muhammad Jano, Vice Chancellor, Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM Malaysia. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Hadi Noor, Profesor, Department of Chemistry, Universitas Negeri Malang, Indonesia. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Muhammad Rafi bin Johan, Director, Nanotechnology and Catalysis Research Center, NanoCat, Universiti Malaya. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Nur Zaidi Haji Muhammad Daud, Professor, Faculty of Business Management, Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM Malaysia. Yang berbahagia, Professor Technologist Dr. Saifullah Haji Abdullah, Director of Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM Malaysia. The conference local chair, our invited speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, it is time to sing the national anthem, Negaraku and Wawasan Setia Warga UiTM. First of all, it is my pleasure to be the MC for the iCReST Virtual Conference 2022. My name is Sri Fitriati Muhammad Kanali from the Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM Malaysia. On behalf of the organizers, we wish to extend our warm welcome, Selamat Datang, and thank you to all foreign and local participants, guests of honor, and representatives to the third iCReST Virtual Conference 2022 organized by the Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM, Dengkil Campus, Selangor, Malaysia. To seek blessings for our event today, I would like to invite Al-Fadil Ustad Ahmad Jamil bin Jaafar to lead the dua recitation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wal aqibatu lil muttaqin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah. Indeed, all praises is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him and seek His help and forgiveness on this blessed day in conjunction with iCReST22. We seek your blessings for a flawless progress of this event from the beginning till the end. Ya Allah, Ya Munzil al-Rahmah, wa Ya Fatih al-Barakat. We glorify and thank you. You have showered us with countless blessings. We humbly ask you to shower our speakers and participants of your greatest inspiration so that they may share the most of their knowledge, heart and soul to their research and practices. May we also absorb the prized knowledge and put it into practice what we may learn today. Ya Allah, Ya Karim, we pray that you bless all the committees in charge, that they may be able to fulfill their tasks responsibly, that the objective they have set may all be achieved. Show us your guidance and adjust our path and ways to achieve happiness and glory. Ya Allah, do bless our meeting and gathering and do prevent us from harm and unfortunate events. Allahumma ja'al jama'ana hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqna min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. Allahumma inna na'udzu bika minal barasi wal junun wal judham wa min sayyi'il asqam. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ameen, Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's conference is transcending boundaries and sustaining livelihood through multidisciplinary research. This international conference aims to provide opportunities for researchers and scholars across the globe to present their research work and findings with common enthusiasm, ultimately boosting the possibilities for impactful academic sharing and networking. For your information, today we have 180 participants as well as industrial experts and professionals joining this conference. All participants have come together to discuss various contributions to science, technology, and social sciences. We hope these valuable contributions in this one day of conference will be beneficial to both academia and the industry. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to begin, I would like to invite Yang Berbahagia Professor Technologist Dr. Saifullah Haji Abdullah, Director of Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM Malaysia, to deliver his welcoming speech. Please welcome Professor Technologist Dr. Saifullah Haji Abdullah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you MC, Ms. Sri Fitriati. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Datuk Teknologis Dr. Hajah Roziah Muhammad Jano, Vice Chancellor Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM Malaysia. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Hadi Nur, Profesor Department of Chemistry, Universitas Negeri Malang, Indonesia. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Muhammad Rafi bin Johan, Director, Nanotechnology and Catalysis, Research Center, Nanocat, Universiti Malaya. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Nur Zaidi, Haji Muhammad Daud, Profesor, Faculty of Business Management, Universiti Teknologi Mara, UiTM, Malaysia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Alhamdulillah, all praises to Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful, by whose grace and blessings have enabled us to gather here for our annual conference. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the International Conference on Research and Practices in Science, Technology, and Social Sciences 2022, iCReST22 Virtual Conference, with the theme Transcending Boundaries and Sustaining Livelihood through Multidisciplinary Research. I am very grateful and pleased to announce that Center of Foundation Studies, UiTM Selangor Dengkil Campus, is organizing its third international conference, iCReST 2022, has received nearly 180 local and international entries. Among the countries that are invited to present papers are from Japan, Indonesia, China, Philippines, Brunei, and Morocco. I would like also to take this opportunity to thank and congratulate the iCReST 2022 Organizing Committee, particularly Dr. Fadiatul Hasina as a chairperson, whose members have put together and engaging this conference. We are fortunate to have their tremendous support, cooperation, and hard work to make this conference a success. Ladies and gentlemen, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, I feel honored to be part of iCReST 2022 that manages to gather academics, researchers, professionals, and industry practitioners from various backgrounds to exchange ideas and indulge knowledge beyond the norm. This virtual academic event also aims to provide opportunities for researchers and scholars to present their work and findings with common enthusiasm that will collectively and significantly contribute to the sustainment and improvement of livelihood through impactful academic sharing and networking involving science, technology, engineering, and social sciences. Alhamdulillah, we have received a good response for the participation. A glance through the list of presentations planned for today reveal amazing diversity that opens the doors for innovation and collaboration in the knowledge transfer for the benefit of institutions. And on behalf of iCReST 2022 organizers, I wish to extend our warm welcome and express my gratitude to our plenary speaker, keynote speakers for science and technology and social science, for their willingness to be part of this conference. I am sure everyone in attendance today is eagerly waiting for the insight that will be sharing with us in just a while. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you to the organizing committee for the efforts in making this conference successful despite that current pandemic situation that is affecting the country. I would like to thank our industry partners for their generosity. This conference would not have been possible without the significant contribution of all parties. I am grateful to the many experts who come to share their knowledge today. I'm sure you will have a fruitful and rewarding exchange. I wish you every success, and I look forward to learning about the outcome. On behalf of University, I would like to convey my humblest appreciation to everyone here for your support and contribution. I hope many will grab this golden opportunity to expand your knowledge and skill in enriching the world research. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Technologies Dr. Saifullah, for the welcoming remarks. Before we move on to the next agenda, let us take a look at a special montage presentation of iCReST 2022. Next, I am honored to invite Yang Berbahagia Profesor Datuk Teknologis Dr. Hajar Rozia Muhammad Jano, Vice Chancellor, Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM Malaysia, to deliver the opening speech and to officiate this conference. Please welcome Professor Datuk Teknologis Dr. Hajar Rozia Muhammad Jano.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Yang berbahagia Profesor Teknologis Dr. Saifullah Haji Abdullah, Pengarah Pusat Asasi UiTM, para penceramah dan peserta persidangan iCReST22, serta hadirin yang saya hormati sekalian. Saya bersyukur kehadrat Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala kerana dengan limpah kurnianya dapat kita berhimpun bersama-sama dalam majlis pembukaan International Conference on Research and Practices in Science, Technology and Social Sciences 2022. In short, iCReST22. Terlebih dahulu, saya ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada pihak Pusat Asasi UiTM kerana menganjurkan acara yang bertujuan untuk berkongsi hasil penyelidikan yang akan menyemarakkan lagi ilmu dan kemahiran dalam bidang sains, teknologi dan sains kemanusiaan. Hadirin yang dihormati sekalian, bagi meneruskan majlis, izinkan saya untuk berucap dalam bahasa Inggeris. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome and selamat datang to everyone who has made time to be here today, albeit virtually, to share your thoughts and ideas with us at this International Conference on Research and Practices in Science, Technology and Social Sciences 2022, or better known as iCReST22. Thank you, I bid to the organizer, UiTM Center of Foundation Studies at our Dengkil campus, for inviting me to this year's event. I'm honored to be part of this conference that has brought dedicated researchers and scholars together in an online platform. I understand that this is the third year of the Center of Foundation Studies has organized the iCReST conference. This proves that education and knowledge sharing have no boundaries. Despite the difficulties we encountered in the last 2 years with the COVID-19 pandemic, we have managed to pull through by utilizing available technology. Facilitated by digitalization as a solution and an enabler, UiTM is more than ready to widen access to deliver quality education beyond our shores. As the largest, highly established comprehensive university in Malaysia, UiTM provides innovative education with state-of-the-art infrastructure and technology within reach in our 34 campuses, 31 faculties and academic centers all over the country. Hence, I'm pleased that our staff have time and again shown their resilience and resourcefulness to produce quality work to ensure the university's competitiveness in academia. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe the theme chosen for this year's International Conference on Research and Practices in Science, Technology and Social Sciences is indeed apt. As leaders in our chosen fields, we have a key role in ensuring the success of our research improves the lives of our stakeholders for the better. Thus, by transcending boundaries and sustaining livelihood through multidisciplinary research, academicians and industry professionals are able to synergize and collaborate as we focus on sustaining the livelihood of our nation through scientific technology, engineering, and social sciences. At UiTM, we are always looking for ways to challenge ourselves, to bring changes and improvements that will bring further positive impact to our students and communities around us. Through our collective means and willingness to transcend beyond boundaries, we can be assured of keeping up the momentum for change that has already been put in place since the pandemic struck the world. The experience we have had will certainly help us anticipate and effectively deal much better with any future threats to sustain our livelihoods. To Professor Technologist Dr. Saifullah Haji Abdullah and his team of dedicated staff, congratulations on organizing this important event in UiTM's calendar. To everyone participating in iCReST22, I urge you to use this platform to exchange ideas, learn from one another, and form new networks and collaborations. May all of you have a fruitful and enjoyable experience at this year's conference. On that note, and in the name of Almighty Allah, most beneficent, most merciful, I hereby officially open the third International Conference on Research Practices in Science, Technology and Social Sciences, iCReST 2022. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Datuk Technologist Dr. Hajar Roziah Muhammad Jano, for the meaningful speech and for officiating iCReST 2022. Please stay tuned for the next session. Thank you. Next, we are honored to introduce our plenary speaker, Yang Berbahagia, Professor Dr. Hadi Noor. Professor Dr. Hadi Noor is currently attached to Universitas Negeri Malang, Indonesia, and also an adjunct professor in Faculty of Science, Universiti Teknologi, Malaysia. He is an expert in materials chemistry and heterogeneous catalysis. His research has centered on the integration of material science, heterogeneous catalysis, fuel cell science, and engineering in order to develop and characterize new materials for use in emerging technologies. Professor Hadi Noor earned his PhD in chemistry from Universiti Teknologi Malaysia and Magister Teknik, equivalent to Masters in Engineering, in Material Science and Engineering from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia. Professor Hadi Noor is an author and co-author of over 300 publications on various science and technologies topics, focusing on heterogeneous catalysis and advanced with the ISI and Scopus High Index 28, Web of Science High Index 26, and the Google Scholar High Index 38. Today, he will deliver his speech on transdisciplinary research. Is it necessary? Please welcome Professor Dr. Hadi Noor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. I would like to thank UiTM who invited me to give a lecture at this conference. We see the in overthrown written religion and scientific logic, the structure of Islamic affect the quality of the principle of the formation, that is the Ibn Sina Institute for Scientific Industry of Science. From there are six. If we see, all this can be found in the teaching of Islam. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Hadi Noor, for your presentation and sharing just now.
Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Before we proceed to the next a session to ensure the effectiveness of the virtual conference, I would like to get your feedback regarding the quality of the visual and the audio of this conference. Kindly respond by letting me know if there is anything that we need to improve or attend. Since I think the audio and the visual are quite clear at the moment, to show the respect and as a sign of our appreciations to the speaker, please silence your phones and mute your speaker during the session. And it is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. It is very, very happy to meet all of you. It's a pleasure to be here as the moderator for iCReST Virtual Conference 2022. I will moderate this keynote speaker SNT session, and my name is Chemist Dr. Hussein bin Hanibah from Center of Foundation Study, Universiti Teknologi Mara. And all the things, and of course, I can proceed. Without further ado, I would like to invite our keynote speaker for these sessions. Please be welcomed, Yang Bahagia Professor Dr. Hadi Nur from the Department of Chemistry, Universiti Negeri Malang. Professor Dr. Muhammad Rafi Johan, Director of Nanotechnology and Catalyst, Research Center NanoCat, Universiti Malaya, Malaysia, with the title of Quantum Physics, Discriminating and Randomness in the Universe with the Bell Theorem and the Charles Theory. Please welcome. That's the floor.
Okay, lepas tu Dr. Hussein dah terus habis lah, masuk terus penutup.
Oh, okay.
Penutup.
Okay, so at the end, okay, thank you for your kind attention for these wonderful conference sessions that we attended. I'm sure all the audience get a very, very beneficial input from all the party. For the session. This is the end of our sessions. I would like to thanks again to our guests and the participants for participating in this wonderful conference. And we hope that this conference has become a good platform for the researchers, academicians, industrial players to broadcast and disseminate their valuable knowledge in their respective field. Knowledge shared indeed will be the useful and beneficial to all. Till we meet again in future, stay safe and take care. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, and a very good morning to all of you who are present today. As Dr. Hussein mentioned earlier, regarding the quality of the visual of the audio of this conference, let's hope that it's as the best of its quality before we begin. Yeah. Our invited speakers, distinguished guests, academics, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be here as the moderator for the third iCReST Virtual Conference 2022. And I will be moderating the second keynote speech
This is for the social science and humanities discipline. Let me introduce my name. I'm Mr. Imran Daniel from the Center of Foundation Studies, University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. On behalf of the organizing committee, it is our privilege. I would like to extend our warm welcome. Selamat datang to all of you. And UiTM di hatiku. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera and a very good morning to everyone. Just as Dr. Hussein mentioned earlier, we would like to ensure that regarding the quality of your visual and the audio of this conference, to ensure the effectiveness of this virtual conference, please ensure that everything is in order before we begin. Now then, our invited speakers, distinguished guests, academics, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be here as the moderator for the third iCReST Virtual Conference 2022. I will moderate this second keynote speech in the Social Science and Humanities discipline. My name is Mr. Imran Daniel from the Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. And to present the second keynote speech, on behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to extend our warm welcome, selamat datang, to Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Nur Zaidi Haji Muhammad Daud, who will be presenting his keynote speech entitled Investigating the Impact of Intranet Usage on Middle Managers' Performance in the Port Industry in Malaysia. Yeah, indeed, a multidisciplinary research topic, very apt for this conference. Before that, please allow me to read and introduce to you Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Nur Zaidi's profile and curriculum vitae. To begin with, Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Nur Zaidi Haji Muhammad Daud earned his PhD, his doctorate in Management Information Systems from the Multimedia University in 2008 and has been actively involved. Okay, so I read through that. He's got a long range of accolades, and he was awarded the Darjah Johan Negeri DJN Order of the Defender of State member in 2020, conferred by His Excellency the Governor of Penang. So let's go to the academic perspectives. With that, without further ado, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite our keynote speaker for the second session in the Social Sciences and Humanities discipline, Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Nur Zaidi Haji Muhammad Daud. Please welcome, Doctor. Doctor, before we begin, I would just like to mention that the multidisciplinary research includes the knowledge from different branches of sciences, which are encapsulated, interrelated, and then highlighted through both the disciplines to further analysis. Correct me if I'm wrong, Prof. Yeah, it's interesting topic there, maritime sciences and business management. Yeah, it'd be lovely to hear from you. Anyway, please welcome Professor Nur Zaidi with his speech. Yeah, the floor is yours, Doctor. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Dr. Nur Zaidi, Haji Mak Daud, for a very enlightening and interesting speech. And now I open the floor, the session for question and answer Q&As to the member of the audience. Is that all right? Thank you very much, Professor, for your presentation and the sharing of your ideas and knowledge. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now move on to the next item on the agenda, the invited speech session 1. Yeah, okay. Thank you. All right, so over to the next session then. Invited speech session 1, 11:20 a.m. Siapa invited speech session 1? Dr. Nurul Filza Ghazali, moderator. Full tentative. Boleh kah?
Okey, cuba penutup. Penutup.
Penutup di sana. This is the end of our session. I would like to thank all guests and participants for participating in this conference. We hope that this conference has become a good platform for researchers, academics, industry players to broadcast and disseminate their valuable knowledge in their respective fields. Knowledge shared indeed will be useful and beneficial to all. Till we meet again in the future, stay safe and take care. We have the next invited speech session 1 in a few minutes' time. I'd like to hand you over to our moderator, Dr. Nurul Filza Ghazali. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum. The full tentative betul ke? Ya. Tak ada nama siapa ke?
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Welcome back to our first session for the invited speaker. Before we proceed for the next session, to ensure the effectiveness of this visual conference, I would like to get your feedback regarding on the quality of the visual and audio of this conference. Kindly respond by letting me know if there is anything we need to improve or attend to. So it seems that they have no problem. So to show respect and a sign of our appreciation to the speakers, please silence your phone and mute your speaker during the session. Our invited speaker, distinguished guests, academics, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be here as the moderator for iCReST Virtual Conference 2022. I will moderate this social sciences and social science and information engineering and technology session. My name is Dr. Nurfilzah binti Ghazali from the Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. On behalf of the organizing committee, we wish to extend our warm welcome and selamat datang. Thank you to all the participants, guests of honor, delegates, and representatives from the participating institution, foreign and local participants to our third iCReST Virtual Conference 22, organized by Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Cawangan, Selangor, Kampus Dengkil. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, I would like to invite our first speaker, which is our beloved director, Professor Teknologi Saifullah Haji Abdullah, to give her speech with title Nanostructure Porous Silicon Knowledge and
Ya. Boleh ulang balik ayat ni yang jemput Prof Saifullah. Cuba ulang balik ayat tu, sebut nama.
Okay. Sekejap ya. Without further ado, I would like to invite our beloved director, Professor Teknologi Saifullah
Doktor tertinggal. Doktor Saifullah.
Boleh bahas sangat. Okay. Without further ado, I would like to invite our beloved director, Professor Teknologi Dr. Saifullah Haji Abdullah, to give his speech with the title Nanostructures Porous Silicon Knowledge and Application. Please welcome Prof. Saifullah to give his speech.
Okay, Dr. Fiza punya bersambung bila dah habis Dr. Saifullah, dia sambung yang speaker seterusnya lah. Dia tak ada iklan lah. Dia tak ada iklan lah sampai dah penutup lah.
Next speaker ke nak terus tutup?
Betul.
Okay.
Terus perkenalkan pula yang barulah speaker. Ada 4 orang kan?
Okay, so thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof, for aligning us with an interesting speech. So now I open for Q&A session for the audience. If you have any question, feel free to put the question on the chat box, or you can switch on the microphone. Okay. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite our second speaker, which is Dr. Vina Adriani, she is a head center for gender and childhood studies from the Universiti Pendidikan Indonesia, with her speech entitled Unpacking the Link Between Early Childhood Education and Development Studies. Please welcome Dr. Vina to give her speech. Okay.
Dr. Fiza, ulang balik boleh yang tadi, yang jemput tu. Yang second
Okay.
Dr. Vina. Dr. Vina.
Dr. Vina sekejap Okay. So, thank you, Prof, for the for your aligning speech. Now, I would like to invite our second speaker, which is Dr. Vina Adriani.
Profesor.
Profesor Ada profesor kat sini tak ada?
Moderator kena betul. Profesor. Profesor, doktor.
Sekejap Profesor Dr. Vina Adriani. Yang ketiga tu Profesor Prof Rusuk lah, Profesor Engineer Teknologi Dr. Rusuk. Yang nombor 4 tu Dr. Hajah tu ada profesor tak?
Tak ada.
Tak ada So maksudnya 3 profesor je 1 doktor
Betul.
Okay. Okay, Profesor ada Dr. Vina tadi
Okay, cuba ulang semula yang Dr. Vina.
Okay. So, thank you, Prof. Saifullah, for the enlightening speech. Now, I would like to invite our second speaker, which is Professor Dr. Vina Adrani, which is currently the Head Center for Gender and Childhood Studies from the Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, with her speech entitled "Unpacking the Link Between Early Childhood Education and Development Studies." Please welcome Professor Dr. Vina Adrani. Thank you. Okay. Next, Okay. So now we are going into the science and technology session. Okay. So I would like to invite our third speaker, which is Professor Engineer Technologist Dr. Muhammad Rusuk Mahmud, which is currently the head of Nanoscience Technology Center, Institute of Science, Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM, to give his speech. Okay, last sekali. Next, I would like our first invited speaker, which is Dr. Hajah Halimatul Radia. Oh, sekejap DSS sekejap tadi lupa. Sebab hari tu dia dah cakap Datuk Seri Setia. Okay, sorry. So I would like to invite our fourth speaker, which is Dr. Hajah Halimat Islam Sultan Sharif Ali, Brunei Darussalam, to give her speech with title Adapting 21st Century Pedagogy in Teaching Research Methodology for Multidisciplinary Postgraduate Students, a case study of Universiti Islam Sultan Sharif Ali. Please welcome Dr. Hajah Halimatul Radia. Okay, so thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of our session. I would like to thank all guests and participants for participating in this conference. Stay tuned for our next session that will be held at 2 o'clock and will be moderated by my colleague, which is Puan Siti Marina Amin. So, thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Not morning, sorry, good afternoon. Before we proceed to the next session to ensure the effectiveness of the virtual conference, I would like to get your feedback regarding the quality of the visual and audio of this conference. Kindly respond by letting me know if there is anything that we need to improve or attend to. Thank you. To show respect and as a sign of our appreciation to the speaker, please silence your phone and mute your speaker during the session. Get that out of the way. Our invited speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here as the moderator for iCReST Virtual Conference 2022. I will moderate the invited speech session 2. My name is Siti Marina binti Amit from Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. On behalf of the organizing committee, we wish to extend a warm welcome, selamat datang, and thank you to all participants, guests of honor, delegates, and representatives from the participating institutions, foreign and local participants, to our third iCReST Virtual Conference 2022, organized by Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Cawangan Selangor, Kampus Dengkil. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are grateful that the conference is joined by nearly 180 participants ranging from researchers, industrial experts, and professionals. Esteemed participants are gathered here today to share their latest research findings and to share their knowledge and expertise on science, technology, and social sciences. It is hoped that the newly gained knowledge from this conference will be able to contribute to the betterment of the industry and society as a whole. Due to time constraint, as a friendly reminder to all our invited speakers, the time allotted for each speech is 25 minutes plus an additional 5 minutes for our question and answer session. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to invite our first invited speaker for this session. He is Dr. Afnizan Faisal Abdullah, Chief Executive Officer for Synapse Innovations Sdn Bhd, with his paper entitled Enterprise Data Science for Drone Technology. Please welcome. Thank you very much, Dr. Afnizan Faisal, for enlightening us with the interesting speech. I certainly found it very fascinating. Now, I open the session for question and answers. If you would kindly put your questions in the chat section, we will try to select a few for our distinguished expert to address here. Thank you very much, Dr. Afnizan Faisal, for your presentation and for the sharing of ideas and knowledge. Our next invited speaker for this session is none other than Professor Dr. Najibah Muhammad Zain. She is a professor of law with International Islamic University Malaysia, Gombak campus. She will speak on a paper which is titled Developing Methodology of Harmonizing Sharia and Civil Law, Lesson Learned from Indira Gandhi's Case. Please welcome. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Najibah, for a speech that was both enlightening and captivating. Now I open the session for questions and answers, if there's any. Thank you very much for sharing your views and insight with us, Professor Dr. Najibah. Now, last but definitely not least, I would like to invite Dr. Juan Matmin, Head of Green Chemistry Research Group, Faculty of Science, Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. I'm dragging this part because the title of the paper is really mouthful for someone from social science like me. The title of the paper is Modification of Zeolitic Imidazolate Frameworks 8 for Antibacterial and Protocolytic Activity. There you go. So please welcome Dr. Juan. Thank you very much, Dr. Juan, for enlightening us with the interesting speech. Now I'll open the session for question and answer. Thank you very much, Dr. Juan, for your presentation and the sharing of ideas and knowledge. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our session. I would like to thank all guests and participants for participating in this conference. We hope that this conference has become a good platform for researchers, academicians, and industry players to convey and disseminate their knowledge, their valuable knowledge in their respective fields. Knowledge shares indeed will be useful and beneficial to all. Till we meet again in the future, stay safe and take care. I would like to hand over the floor to the moderator of the last invited speech session. Please stay for more interesting insights. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. Before we proceed to the next session, to ensure the effectiveness of this virtual conference, I would like to get your feedback regarding the quality of the visual and audio of this conference. Kindly respond by letting me know if there's anything that we need to improve on or attend to. All right, so far so good. To show respect and as a sign of our appreciation to the speaker, please put your phone on silent mode and mute your microphone during the session. Invited speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be here as the moderator for iCReST Virtual Conference 2022. I will moderate this invited speech session 3. My name is Sakinatul Ain Jilani from the Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. On behalf of the organizing committee, we wish to extend our warm welcome, selamat datang, and thank you to all participants, guests of honor, delegates, and representatives from the participating institutions, foreign and local participants, to our third iCReST Virtual Conference 2022, organized by the Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Cawangan, Selangor, Campus Dengkil. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are grateful that the conference is joined by nearly 180 participants, ranging from researchers, industrial experts, and professionals. Esteemed participants are gathered here today to share the latest research findings and to share their knowledge and expertise on science, technology, and social sciences. It is hoped that the newly gained knowledge from this conference will be able to contribute to the betterment of the society as a whole. Speakers, before we begin, I'd like to remind you that you are given 25 minutes to speak and 5 minutes for the question and answer session. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to invite our first invited speaker for this session. Please welcome Dr. Warjio from Universitas Sumatera Utara, Indonesia, with a speech entitled Orientalism and Colonialism in Islamophobia. Thank you very much, Dr. Warjio, for enlightening us with the interesting speech. Now, I open the session for question and answer. Doctor, we do have a few questions for you. Thank you very much, Dr. Warjio, for your presentation and the sharing of ideas and knowledge. Next, our second invited speaker is Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Ibrahim, Deputy Dean of the Kuliah of Applied Health Science, IIUM Kuantan Campus. Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad will be presenting on Trigona B products from laboratory to community. Doctor, the floor is all yours. Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad, for enlightening us with the interesting speech. Now, once again, we will move on to the question and answer session. Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad, for sharing your views and ideas with us. Now, it is finally time for our third and final invited speaker. Please give a warm welcome to Professor Dr. Yamina El-Kirat El-Alam from the Faculty of Letters and Human Sciences, Muhammad V University in Rabat, Morocco. Professor Dr. Yamina's speech is entitled The Internationalization Process as a Means for Ensuring the Quality of Higher Education. Welcome, Professor Dr. Yamina. Thank you, Doctor, for illuminating us with the benefits of the internationalization process in ensuring the quality of higher education. Now, Professor, we have a couple of questions for you. Thank you once again, Professor, for answering the questions and for sharing your interesting views on this topic. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, With that, this is the end of our session. I would like to thank all guests and participants for participating in this conference. We hope that iCReST 2022 has become a good platform for researchers, academicians, and industry players to broadcast and disseminate their valuable knowledge in their respective fields. Knowledge shared, indeed, will be useful and beneficial to all. Right after this, we will proceed with the closing ceremony. On that note, if you're excited to find out the winners of the Best Presenter Awards, don't go anywhere and keep on watching Pusat Asasi UiTM's YouTube channel. Till we meet again in the future, stay safe and take care. Assalamualaikum and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the good things must come to an end. Therefore, I would like to invite Yang Berbahagia, Professor Technologist Dr. Saifullah Haji Abdullah, Director of Center of Foundation Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Malaysia, to officiate the closing ceremony of International Conference on Research and Practices in Science, Technology and Social Sciences, iCReST 2022.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, MC, Ms. Sri Fitriati. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Hadino, Profesor Department of Chemistry, Universitas Negeri Malang, Indonesia. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Muhammad Rafi bin Johan, Director, Nanotechnology Catalysis Research Center, NanoCat, University of Malaya. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Nur Zaidi Haji Muhammad Daud, Profesor, Faculty of Business Management, Universiti Teknologi Mara, UiTM, Malaysia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. Alhamdulillah, all praises are for Allah, for it is with His blessings that we are able to gather here for today's closing ceremony. On behalf of Center of Foundation Studies, UiTM Selangor, Dengkil Campus, it is with great pride and pleasure to welcome all participants to the International Conference on Research and Practices in Science, Technology, and Social Sciences, iCReST 2022. We are here this evening to celebrate outstanding achievement for our participants in sharing their knowledge to the world. As a fellow educator, we should never stop seeking for knowledge, as it is one of the means for advancement and perfection of the individual and the society, both in this world and the hereafter. First of all, I would like to start by thanking the iCReST 2022 Organizing Committee for bringing the expertise and experience around the table and making iCReST 2022 a success. However, most importantly, I would like to thank you all the participation. This conference would not have been a success without you. As with all success events, this conference has been an outstanding example where our minds have been assailed by ideas, information, and vision. And there is indeed plenty to reflect upon, and if this is in any way enhance our individual and collective contribution to transcend boundary, then the conference can truly be declared a successful. Ladies and gentlemen, with the theme Transcending Boundaries and Sustaining Livelihood through Multidisciplinary Research, It plays a significant role to create a platform for fellow research in presenting their research findings. Not only that, this initiative provides opportunity for exchange views and promote knowledge transfer among researchers, industry professionals from various backgrounds to share ideas from their respective. I am proud to announce that iCReST22 has received 180 entries from within and outside the country. Submission from some of neighboring countries like Indonesia, China, Japan, Philippines, Brunei, and Morocco prove that challenges that come during the pandemic, knowledge sharing does not go into out. In fact, it pushes us to work harder and smarter to ensure fellow educators and researchers are able to share ideas from their respective fields. We need to appreciate how open we are about that we learn and how we try to push our knowledge out beyond of this. I also hope that participants have seized the opportunity to collaborate and strengthen ongoing professionalism between participants as well as the industry. Once again, I would like to take opportunity to thank the committees and participants who added the conference experience. Since the iCReST and annual event, we look forward to seeing you again in 2022. Let us pray that we are able to organize the conference again physically. Finally, with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I hereby close the International Conference on Research and Practices, Science, Technology, and Social Sciences, iCReST 20. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Saifullah Haji Abdullah, for the closing ceremony speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that we all have been waiting for. I will now announce the winners of the Best Presenter Awards. First off, on behalf of the organizers, I would like to thank all the participants for your submission. Without further ado, I will now announce the winners of the Best Presenter Awards. All right, the Best Presenter Award for Social Sciences and Humanities. The list of the winners are Sri Fitriati binti Muhammad Kenali, Atifah Othman, Nur Ain Jantan Anwaja, Rashika Batrisha Muhammad Zulkifli, Dr. Nurul Filza, and Sakinatul Ain. Moving on to the Best Presenter Award for Track Science and Technology. The winners are Sri Fitriati binti Muhammad Kenali, Sakinatul Ain, Siti Marina, Dr. Nurul Filza, and Atifah Othman. Congratulations to all of the winners. Once again, we would like to congratulate all the recipients of the Best Presenter Awards. Now, we have come to the end of iCReST 2022. We would like to thank you for your participation, contribution, and support of this conference. Hope to see all of you again next year. Thank you. Assalamualaikum. Dah.
Clap, 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 clap.
It's awkward bagi list of winners, but nobody is anticipating it.
Alright, done.